Welcome everyone to the Toku Portal podcast. It's me, Zero, here with.
Rye,
Drago.
and today we're talking about Kamen Rider Build, Episode 17. Hokuto has declared war on Toto, and they are invading. Shit has gone really serious, really fast. Right?
Well, this episode was kind of like it went from 0 to 180 very fast. As far as the episode is concerned, yeah.
Okay, just hold up one sec. Uh, see if the stream's stable. It's kind of glitching out for a sec. Just give me one sec.
Okay. Um, we know what we're doing, guys, we promise.
Oh well. What
Well, it
happened?
looks like it's still going on YouTube, so I guess just restart.
Okay.
Alright. Today we're talking about Kamen Rider Build, Episode 17. Hokuto has declared war on Toto, and they are invading. Shit has gone real serious, real fast, right?
Yep. Most of Toto, like most of the northern area of Toto is invaded.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it would escalate this fast, but at least they're showing kind of. I mean, the budget's probably gonna run out soon, so they're smart enough to show all the like areas getting invaded and stuff right off the bat, especially considering Toto is supposed to be like the weakest of the two because it's kind of like a neutral nation, and Hokuto has like this giant military budget, so they're just coming in and dominating. Plus, it kind of shows like how far Namba Industries like he was selling basically to all sides, so that's why they have the same tech.
That's how you guarantee you win. Gentoku has Sento and Banjo brought in at gunpoint to explain that he wants them to defend Pandora's box. When the box was found on Mars, it had 6 panels. To unlock the box, each panel requires 10 best match combinations of full bottles. Toto, Hokuto, and Seito each have 2 panels and 20 bottles. It's unclear how the other nations purified their bottles. Any guesses?
They have their own Masora kind of people. Or maybe Soichi secretly asked Masora to purify other bottles as well.
That could be it. That could be something.
I mean, when she was with Faust, yeah.
Yeah, when she was that fast. Zero?
I mean, maybe, but like, I don't know. Faust technically kidnapped her and she was in a coma for 7 years, unless like she purified it and they kept like wiping her memory somehow. It's possible. Yeah, I mean, like at this point, there's just no way to tell. I mean, it'd be interesting if there's more people like Misora. That would be an interesting plot point.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister of Hokuto, Tajimi Yoshiko, is having a talk with the Prime Minister of Seto, Mido Masakune, about joining forces. When their chat is over, Yoshiko reveals to Soichi that she just wants Seto to stay out of the way while she invades Toto. I feel like I feel like Sato is actually going to be like the next arc antagonist after this. Like once this stuff with Hokuto is resolved, Sato's gonna be like, yeah, we've actually been prepping this whole time.
Or yeah, or maybe like they like Sato and Sato is gonna gonna come in over the war when he finds out that the playing field is even. If Hokuto gets damaged a bit.
Like he goes after
That's right.
Hokuto.
I mean, like, if you look at the war right now, Hokuto is the most powerful one right now. Maybe he is waiting for Hokuto forces to, get destroyed a bit so that the playing field becomes even.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it would make sense if they like Sato, like there's no way they're just sitting this out, and then I don't think they're dumb enough to believe that Hokuto is just gonna roll over and like give them an alliance afterwards, because like they probably at this point figured out like, yeah, it's better to just stay out of this and then let like the north and the middle sections fight it out, and like once they're weak then they could just roll in with their armies and then just keep going north all the way until they've conquered all of Japan, right?
That's the plan,
Yeah.
really.
I mean, it would be, but like we don't know what they have, because then again we didn't know like Hokuto had like any smash. So
Yeah.
unless they have their own rider system, like at this point, like what could they have, right?
Maybe.
Because if robots, it's not good enough.
Well, maybe Soichi is
Uh,
also like making deals with them.
yeah, because both now they already have the full bottle, so they have the capacity to build anything practically right now, and they have the most money out of all three nations.
Yeah, I mean the other thing is like, if even if Suichi was working with them, like what could they possibly have? Like the Scratch driver, like it's strong, but it ain't. It's not that strong, because like this whole arc is the Scratch driver getting their ass kicked, right? Like that's what's gonna happen. Like either Kamen Rider Grease joins them or he gets defeated. In either case, that driver doesn't mean much. So like it would be interesting if they do like. Normally, I don't like it when they reveal like, oh, there's this whole new writer and his system is totally different and like he came out of nowhere. But like in the case of like Sato, I think it would be interesting that if they're not working directly with like Bloodstar, because like as fun it is to see him around and stuff, it'd be kind of annoying if he's the only one pulling on the strings. Because if he is, then like why hasn't he accomplished his plans yet? Whereas like
Right.
yeah, maybe he kind of helps Sato, but like I hope because Sato has so much money, maybe they'll get like somebody else to help them. That would be interesting. Or maybe they go like a fucking G3 route. I don't think that's gonna happen, but that'd be cool. Um, yeah. Or like instead of just mass producing one rider, they're the ones who do like the riot trooper things. Because like when I saw this battle, I'm like, holy shit, man! Like if we had riot troopers, this would be so much more
Actually,
helpful
yeah.
than
I would love to
like
see
two
riot
riders.
troopers in this.
Yeah, even like the generic like grunts from like Gaim would be useful here, but riot troopers would be great.
Yeah, as far as this war is concerned, Saito is sitting it out, but Hokuto is at the most powerful military nation right now. It's basically North Korea going on war with South Korea.
I mean, yeah, like analogously, a little bit, but yeah, not really. It's more like North Korea going to fight with Japan right now, because like I think like Sato is more like South Korea, where it's like they have a lot of money and they have like a lot of like technology, and they have the manpower because they haven't been like depleted. Whereas Japan is like, constantly. I mean, like they because they're the constitution, they cannot like build an army that big to fight back because it would turn into an aggressive force, because you can't just have that kind of army sitting around. Whereas like North Korea's got nothing. Like they can do that, they don't give a shit.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Gentoku tells Sento and Banjo that they'll be pardoned of all crimes if they help. Sento still doesn't want to get involved in war, but Gentoku doesn't want to take no for an answer. He has devices attached to their wrists to keep track of them. These devices are designed not to come off, but once the two leave, Sento is able to just take his off. He's a super genius. Uh, the two of them are approached by a group from Hokuto who call themselves the Three Crows. They can use full bottles to turn into Smash, but stay in control. They are Hard Smash. After a short fight, it becomes clear that they're stronger than the Riders are, but they get into an argument over who gets to take the full bottles away and don't notice when the Riders take off. Even Banjo thinks they're morons.
I mean, that was like a cute segment. It kind of harkened back to okay, here's the thing. Whenever like a trio shows up in like tokusatsu, it's always like these three primary colors. I mean, like Sentai does it too. It's the primary Sentai colors. Uh but they're kind of like a reference to like another tokusatsu duo. Like they showed up in oh fuck, like I think it was like a Forze and O's movie, I
Uh,
think.
it is. I think you mean Akumizer.
Yeah, Akumizer. Oh no, it was Forza and Wizard, that movie. Um, yeah, that movie is okay. It's interesting. I mean, like it's got two halves. Like they're in the final half and the Forza thing. It's weird that they're villains because they're supposed to be kind of like anti-heroes in that, but I mean, this like the it's the three primary colors, and then the trio attack is basically an Akamaizer thing. I mean, they weren't like in even in Ryuki, they kind of did this where it's like they just use the colors and then they had different monsters, but they always have the trio attack. So that's kind of cool to bring that back. I actually really like their designs. I mean, the yellow one not that much, but he's kind of useful because he can fly and stuff, and it seems he can track the, people who are like infected with nebula gas. So that's kind of useful.
I was talking to a king as well, and they kind of they're kind of reminiscent of the three monsters from Kiva. Uh, Not too much. They just kind of have that feel about them. Like you have the shorter one, you have the big slow one.
Yeah, yeah, I can kind of see it. I mean, it's more like it's more like the Imagine, I would think, than like the Kiva ones
Yeah,
because like it's clearly like moment. I mean, the colors are a little different. Like yeah, it's kind of like a fusion of those guys because like I would say like the dude who's the castle or like the red one with the wall is clearly like more Momotaro's, and then like the guy who in the blue is kind of like Jiro, but like like he's kind of like a weird chill mix of like okay, at least I can buy this guy as a soldier, and the guy in yellow is kind of like a mix of like Basha and like who's the purple one from Deno.
Ryutaros.
Ryutaros.
Yeah, so maybe like a mix of those two, where it's like a little playful but like still really good. Uh, I mean, yeah, it's an interesting mix, but they're pretty like it's weird. Like it almost felt like they were gonna die this episode. I was like, holy shit! Like first they win, and then like they're almost dead. I'm like, wow, like way to waste the villains, but at least they survive. You know, like it's always good to kind of have like a team running around. Sorry, I guess I'm muted. Like
Yeah,
it's always good to have. It's always good to have a team because it kind of helps having more than one rider. Because like if you have like giant war type thing going on, and like then you have like a common rider who's just like fighting the other guy who's a common rider. It's like okay, this story doesn't need the riders at all. Whereas if you have a group and you have like primary and secondary, at least you can have them do different things. So that's at least good. I mean, like I'm happy that they didn't die, but like it's kind of weird that we like kind of met their power levels already. I mean, then again, like Bill just goes like base form, like strongest form. Like he didn't try anything in between. Like if you tried um like comic, that one, it might have been useful.
Big.
Personally, I feel. Wait. I let me finish this. When Zero said they were kind of about to die, I don't think so. It's more of how Build when fighting Night Rogue, and they actually gradually got stronger.
Yeah.
I think they also can increase the hazard level or something. Because Banjo, without becoming a rider, he could increase. Maybe these guys are similar.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, like, if Grease seems to be like a Banjo, uh, like antagonist, like if Build has to fight these three, that would be interesting.
Because as far as power is concerned, Banjo is stronger than Rabbit Tank Sparkling right now.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, Decade.
Yo,
We're
sorry I'm late.
still. Yeah, that's fine. We're still pretty early on. Did you have anything to say about the war going on right now?
Um, well, I'm quite pleased that visually they didn't cut too many corners. I think that introduction scene was pretty badass. um, yeah, and I do like them fleshing out just how deranged this Hokuto lady is. That's quite fun. But not much else.
Okay, what about the three crows of Hokuto?
I definitely like their introduction and their kind of their power level. Basically, it feels a bit reminiscent of Kamen Rider Paradox showing up, except this is like the Three Stooges. So yeah, I like them, and I think their designs are pretty good for the most part.
Okay, did you guys yeah, I guess it's kind of like a random part. Did you guys notice like how many scenes and like locations we're using from like past shows this episode? Like, um, okay, you know where like Misora and like, yeah, Misora and like, God damn it, I remember nobody's name. Build, okay, talk at the end, and it's like, okay, that's kind of like a ghost location, or, I mean, it's definitely in Mebius too. I think Ultraman Mebius. And then there was like other locations like throughout this episodes that were like previous shows, like kept showing up, like previous show locations. It was weird. Like they go to like the medical thing, and that's clearly like the X-Aid one, except they just stuck it to the side so you wouldn't focus on it.
Yeah, I did notice that, but I did like that area where, well, pretty much Gentoku's war room. I thought that was a nice room.
Yeah, that was in. I remember that location as well. It was in Kiba. It was Taiga Nobori's boardroom.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. It's either that one or it's the one from G3. Um, yeah, I mean not G3, G3, Agito and like
Amazon.
sorry. Okay, yeah, like Kuga or Agito's boardroom, but like, yeah, it makes more sense that it's the one from Kiva.
The also that hill where Sento and Mizora talk. I think that may have been in Ranger at one point.
Yeah, I mean that it's weird. I think it's just because that location it shows up in a lot of like different tokusatsu. So like literally, we just had like Kamen Rider Ghost, Maji Ranger for Sentai, and Ultraman Mebius for Ultraman. Like it's shown up in 3 different franchises. It's pretty awesome.
Alright. At the lab, Banjo finds Sento's new Splash driver, which works by turning a full bottle into a jelly. For some reason, this maximizes its potential. Sorry. The only bottle that Sento could find compatible was Dragon, but he insists that it's not ready to be used. He doesn't want it being turned into a military weapon. Then Sawa comes in and tells them Mizora is missing. While looking for her, Banjo comes across a Smash attacking people. Before he can fight it, a mysterious man, we will later find out his name is Kazumi, defeats it in a single punch. He was using a full bottle. And he walks off. Banjo then gets a call from Gentoku, who wants him to use the new Splash driver, based on information Soichi had told him before. This was a neat way to kind of introduce Grease to us. You just have him like step in, establish his personality a bit, and then just give an example of his strength. I am now more convinced that he may have made that hole in the sky wall that we saw last episode.
Yeah, could be. I was a bit concerned, to be honest, that he was just gonna be like a pure edge lord when he was like, "Oh, my soul fire is burning" or whatever. But then he's like, "Oh crap, my hand hurts." So yeah, that was nice. He's gonna be a fun character, and I'm glad to see that actor again.
Iksan knuckle rise up.
Oh man, that was so great. He's basically Otoya, except he's wearing Tachibana's clothes. That me and Rai were just making the joke of like, yeah,
Whoa.
you wear Tachibana's clothes, you kind of act like Tachibana, and so he's basically Otoya, except he's got like a little bit of Tachibana in him now.
I didn't realize that was Tachibana's clothes.
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like. I'm not sure if it is, but
I
basically
don't think
it
it's the
looks like.
same outfit, but it looks like that kind of clothing that Tachibana wore.
I mean, it might be the outfit that Xernos wore in episode 4, in the episode 4 special. For some reason, he was dressed like Tachibana in that. I don't know why, but he was.
Yeah, he was.
Because it was cold.
Anything else, Drago?
I'm glad to see him back. Nothing else. And they can have an excuse, alternate universe.
Which, for those of you listening and might be a little confused, the actor for Kamen Rider Grease previously played Otoya in Kamen Rider Kiva. And he was the biggest reason why I like that series. Sento finds Mizora, who blames herself for causing this war by purifying bottles. She tries to take off the bracelet, lets her do it, but she can't. Sento comforts her, but they're interrupted by the Three Crows. Realizing he can't just run from his problem, Sento decides to fight to end the war. During the fight, Banjo shows up to help him with the Splash driver. Using the Dragon Jelly, he achieves his new form, Cross Z Charge. With it, he's able to overpower the Heart Smash, and together they knock them out of their forms and pick up some full bottles that the Smash drop. Before they can celebrate, Kazumi approaches them and pulls out his own Splash driver. And that's the end of the episode. I really enjoyed this introduction fight for the new form. And I really like the way the new form looks too. These like last 3 minutes are the biggest reason why I like this episode.
Yeah, I'm definitely liking the aesthetics of the new form. I'm not completely sold on the sounds, but I probably need to watch the episode a couple more times. But yeah, and it was also fun just watching Ryuga and Sento kind of just ignoring all the bullshit and working together. I mean, they just instantly rider kick with each other. No communication needed. So yeah, I really like that fight.
Yeah, for me, I really like the comedy in this series in general. Because when his hands get stuck inside the tree, that was funny.
Ah, I'm stuck. Guy hits him. Oh, hey, I'm out.
And then also the fact that he does a double rider kick with Sento, that was pretty fun. And also, and I really like how they set up Bill in general, because you know how in many series like in X8, the problem was once you have the same gear around the same level, the skill makes a less difference. Like you can say that if he's level 50, he's level 50, then they can are tied mostly. And but in this series, it's there are three factors that can decide your victory. One being what kind of gear you use. Second being your hazard level, and the third being the skill. So it makes for interesting combinations with how people fight, and you don't exactly know who wins. And there's not much inconsistency in powers that as far as it's concerned.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, like the fights are kind of interesting. As for like, it's not inconsistent. I'm like, okay, if Build actually had like a power scale, then I'd worry. It's more like, oh, this is the new power up. It's gonna win. You know, like if Build actually used his powers, I would care. But like, he doesn't. Like he just went, oh, form one. Oh, I guess we lost. Strongest form. I'm like, really? Like nothing in between. I mean, I know why we don't have the time for that, but yeah, yeah. Otherwise, not bad. Yeah, the introduction was not bad. Like I actually really like the look of it. Except for the shoulder pads, I wish they were slightly smaller, but like otherwise, it's great. I don't like how it has like its weapon thing, but I guess like it's modern rider. You can't have a rider without a weapon. At least it's built in. It can go away. Whatever. Um, but like, yeah, Grease's introduction was pretty cool too. I mean, like everything in that like last bit, like basically anything with like Banjo and Grease was well done. The writer side of Build, not so much. The character of Sento was well done in this episode. Um, but yeah, otherwise it's pretty solid stuff.
The one thing I actually don't like about I'm not liking about Build is that after Banjo got his rider form, they focused too much on Build, and Banjo's cross the normal suit didn't get much action.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, like it was an okay suit, but yeah, like Build was kind of always sort of looking down on it. I mean, I guess it was supposed to be weaker anyway, but I actually like the
Yeah,
news. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's another form. Sorry, another problem with this new form is that it's a completely different driver. So yeah, whenever he shows up in movies or something and he's showing off his powers, he's gonna have to like put on the new belt. I don't know. That's just kind of weird.
I mean, maybe they'll do the Shotaro from Double thing of like, oh, I just walk around with two drivers. It's fine. It's so dumb, but whatever.
That's what Kaito did in the game. He
God,
switched around drivers like a lot.
that's so stupid. I mean, to be
Like,
fair,
see,
yeah, go ahead.
okay, continue. Okay, basically what happened was he was Senku driver. He uses like his first form, then second form, and then he just removed one driver, adds another one, and then transforms into his strongest form at that point, and that was pretty funny.
That is so over the top. I mean, to be
It,
fair, I really like the Scratch Driver. This is kind of like the Kamen Rider mock from Drive, Kamen Rider Drive problem, where it's like the secondary show up and they have such like a really good looking driver that I'm like, okay, fuck it, like screw anything else. I just want to see this thing more. Like mock, it's got like his form is great, and he's got like a good driver, and I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck you, drive. Like I just put Mach back on screen. Like that's kind of like Build's problem. It's like it's got a cool looking suit, but they don't use it. And now like Banjo's second suit is so much cooler than his first one. I'm like, who cares? But yeah, as like in universe, it's kind of sad that we're like, oh, this thing, it's a rider system. It's perfectly useful. You can give it to like somebody else. I mean, they can't because nobody else can use that damn thing. But if we had like a third character, we could have given it to them, and they could have fought like the non-hard smash and the guardian grunts and stuff. Like Toto could have had 3 Kamen Riders protecting it right now, but it's just gonna fall by the wayside, it seems like.
Hashtag me Sora for Rider.
I mean, like, okay, unless she's like a fucking new type and you attach funnels to that rider suit, like, I don't know how good she's gonna be because, like, I don't feel like she's a fighter.
She's not. And that's kind of the one problem with your idea there, is that they would have to find another compatible user.
I would, because the Misora's actor is an actual ninja,
What?
and it would be really, it's a wasted potential that they are not using her martial arts skills, like to at least show stunts. Shouldn't work with her. It's the same problem that Kengo went through in Forze. The dude knows how to fight, but he was given a character which doesn't fight.
It's kind of like how Gaim's actor could do 15 backflips in a row, and he never did it on screen for some reason.
No, he did. He did. He did do a few backflips, but not 15.
No, I'm talking about the 15 he can do. There's no practical reason for it, but that would have been awesome.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like an old school Showa style rider kick where you just do random aerobic shit and then like your rider kick lands? Like if we had that, maybe
they didn't build and cross do this one. They didn't even activate anything in the drive. Just went and kicked the guys.
Oh, it's the Kabuto thing. Okay, so there's this scene in shit. I think like maybe the first or second fight with like Kickhopper shows up, and like Kabuto shows up to that fight too. But if you freeze frame it, like Kabuto is doing his thing, right? He doesn't do the full transformation. So like if you look at the belt, it's not functioning properly, and he still transforms. So it's kind of like that. The belt's just sentient at that point. Yeah, it's either he doesn't fully transform or he doesn't do a full rider kick. It's like it's one of the two, but like if you like freeze it, you can see that he doesn't do it fully. It's hilarious. I mean, I'm not sure if this video is up, but I saw this video like a long time ago. It was on YouTube. Yeah, it's kind of one of those fun things. I mean, to be fair, like this is one of those problems. Like we have so many riders. Like, you know what would have fixed it? Like Gentoku is technically a rider. Why isn't he helping his own country? Like
because he's not a rider, though.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like he might be because like Kamen Rider, like Nitro is maybe a thing. I don't know.
No, Nitrogue isn't a Kamen Rider, 1, and 2. If we transform into Nitrogue, then he would be outed into public.
Yeah, but he can transform and then go fight. Like that's one of the things that the villains are smart about. They don't run up into a field and then henshin. They already henshin and then they show up. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I mean, if we gave Banjo, like if Nitrogue's gun was damaged and they're like, okay, use Banjo's freaking driver to henshin. Like at least we would have a use for that driver. Now it's just gonna sit there.
Maybe he might because he was showing interest in the driver, and there is probably going to be a case where another rider is going to show up.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was thinking. Like I know Grease is rider, and then like I heard maybe Nitro is one. It's like a common.
Okay, so there is a rider that's named Kamen Rider Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be
Oh,
like
there
a
you
hard.
go. He's gonna use the splash driver.
Whether or not it's Gintoku is unclear, though. Like,
I
maybe it's
mean,
someone
at least
else.
we would have a use for it. At least, yeah. Who
Or maybe
knows?
it's Tsumi. Like, he made did a Tachibana and showed up next episode.
God, I hated that so much.
Okay, he didn't show up next episode, but yeah, I. That was such a great ending, and then like he's just there. I was like,
It's like,
what the
what?
fuck?
That kind of mutes that whole thing. Uh,
That
but
was so messed up. I mean, that whole like
Blade.
plot line was dumb. Yeah, it's Blade. Um, or we could give it to Secret Agent Sawa. Like maybe she could do.
no.
God
Like,
damn it!
I'm all for making Sawa useful in this series, but God, I don't think a rider is the way to go.
I don't know. Just say like she's
She needs more
doing.
suffering.
I say give her the belt and just say she's fighting grunts somewhere in like the other sectors.
Oh, don't even
You
show
know,
her.
like
Just say she is.
what? Just say it because like they
Like,
don't have time to film it. I don't care.
I need to go
I will.
fight grunts in England now. Bye.
No, no, no. I mean, you hear in on the report they're like, sector B to D is gone. Sector A, like half of it is occupied. So like literally like most of Toto is freaking occupied right now or like destroyed. So like you could put like writers there. Like it's kind of that Kamen Rider. Okay, it's sort of what Kamen Rider made sets up at the end when like Wizard ends in like the final episode. Oh right, Mage is gonna go work for Section Zero. I'm like that'd be cool. Like give Sawa a belt or something and just say she's dealing with the other guys. And she was like an age, like a trained spy or soldier or something. Who knows? I mean, she did do that stupid break out of the hospital scene, not scene, like whole action sequence.
That was very cool.
I mean, like Mizora getting it would be okay too because like you could say, oh, how can she use like she built the full bottle so like she could interface with the driver. It could work, but like my only problem is like in the show, there's no indication that she can fight. Unless you have
That's
like Shawa teach her to fight or something. At least she has something to do.
alright, Mizor. Today we're gonna work on the full body crash through window technique.
I mean, to be fair, that's Skyrider's not Skyrider. Yeah, Skyrider's henshin. Rider break. You know, he just gets on his bike, breaks through a wall, and yells Rider break.
Oh my God, I need to look that up. Well,
Final
final
thoughts.
thoughts on the episode. I really enjoyed this episode, and I really like what it sets up. I actually look forward to seeing more of the Hokuto Three Crows. I hope they're not just done as like, oh well, we can beat them anytime now. I want to see more of their strength.
Yeah, they can still give Sento's new form a run for his money. So yeah, I don't think they'll be going anywhere. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Greece go berserk. We'll see what happens.
I really am liking the thing. I think it's gonna be Grease versus Across and Sento's Rabbit Tank Sparking versus the three trios. At least the fight matchup because Rabbit Tank Sparking isn't as strong as the what do you call it, the new driver. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. And it's nice that Banjo is also getting new forms as Sento. I just hope they don't stop it here. I hope that he gets like gradual increase in forms like how the main rider does because he's also the protagonist of this show, not only Sento, even if his name is in the title card.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be fair, like yeah, considering how like abruptly his like character, his like story arc kind of ended when he became a writer, it's good that they're giving him like a writer arc. And to me, like Grease's actor is so good, and like Grease seems kind of like he doesn't seem like generic bad guy. Like I would like to see him like become a good guy, or maybe like all the writers kind of take up like Sento's philosophy of trying to stop this stupid war, and that would be interesting. But as for this episode, yeah, it's really well done. I mean, like
Yeah,
Mizora's acting was great. Go ahead,
yeah,
Ryder.
yeah. I was gonna say my theory. Yeah, I had a little theory that Bill, this one Soichi, right? He's acting like kind of like the Ares from the Wonder Woman movie.
Okay, I haven't seen that, so
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, he was kind of acting like Ares from Wonder Woman movie, and Ares is the god of war. Who else is the god of war? Mars. Soichi went to Mars. Soichi might be the god of war because that's
I
going
mean,
on right
he's also the god of farming. Is that what like Soichi was doing, growing his freaking cocoa
Coffee
beans?
beans? Okay, we
now.
all
Yes,
know he wasn't growing any
I
coffee beans.
know, but I'm running with this stupid joke. Um, that would be interesting. Okay, that would be interesting if Soichi isn't human, like if he's just an alien doing it. So like that would
maybe.
be to see what his end goal would be interesting, because like if he's like trying to build like the skywall, like okay, he could be trying to take over Japan, but I'm like, what for? Like if he has something that will happen once he has all that control, like maybe he wants to go back to Japan, but I'm like, what's the point? You could
I
just,
think he just wants war. That's it.
yeah,
War for
yeah.
the sake of war. And Pandora box is just a MacGuffin to incite the war.
That that would be interesting actually. Like he's just trying to spread havoc and causing all this destruction for his own amusement.
So so basically you're telling me this is what hell been, the Pandora's box,
Maybe.
Drago.
What? I couldn't hear you.
So basically you're telling me instead of Helheim we should have just put the Pandora's box in Guy.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I mean seriously. Build is what Gotham was supposed to be. Here they have an actual war. The
I
only
know.
war we saw at Gam was between Kaito and Kota, which only lasted like even not even half an episode.
Man, that's not even writer versus writer levels. Shit. Like most secondary writers have a fight that lasts at least an arc with their primaries. What the hell was that shit?
Uh, has everyone said what they wanted to say?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. That's it for tonight's folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next Tuesday for more Uchu Sentai Q Ranger. It's almost done. And next Wednesday for more Kamen Rider Build. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
I need to watch Q. I need to continue with Q Ranger. Bye bye.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, and see you next time.